Jolan Tru Centurions, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Command, Orion Pirates Mod. I'm Commodore Turek of the Dreadnought RS Otis, as we continue our campaign against the Hydran Star Kingdom, and well, we're trying to take a base of operations. Unfortunately, the Hydrans aren't being particularly cooperative on this one. However, we have managed to finally get this one down to an Empire Defense of 9, so let's set into space and see if we can actually grab it. Luckily for us, a patrol and a convoy raid for the options. We're trying not to blow up the base. That is a bit of a problem right now, actually trying to find missions where we can not blow up the base. You'd think that'd be just a little bit easier. We'd avoid the installation that does not move, but I suppose not. We have a frigate and a frigate currently on scope. We're going to set all our plasma torpedoes to maximum overload. That way we hit with the hardest of punches. We will be required clearly in order to completely knock the enemy out, and then we can accelerate up to our ridiculously high speed. No, seriously, this ship is built for speed and maneuverability, which is kind of hilarious. It is technically a dreadnought, but it's very much a light dreadnought, and so we have a lot of power when it comes to our movement ratios, and that's an Andromedan heavy cruiser. Okay, that does not make sense. So we've got two frigates and an Andromedan heavy cruiser, and the Andromedans use, well, tractor repulsors in real world, but in this game they use basically ESG lances. ESG lances, as far as I know, can't miss, so he might be able to aim at us while we're under cloak. So maybe just zipping around at maximum speed is the best possible thing we can do. We're going to prepare a tractor beam. We're going to grab out of this frigate. I want to see if I can't just kill him before anything else can happen, because if that works, never mind, the plasma torpedoes will not be ready in time. At least it doesn't look like it anyway. We came too fast, too quick, too close. Yeah, we're gonna have to cut that tractor beam just a little bit off at the beginning, because there's no point. The tractor beam is not gonna, well, it would grab him, it just, there'd be no point to grabbing him since we don't have plasma torpedoes. Okay, 22 damage onto him, didn't cause any major damage. Now we'll kick on the tractor beam. Or maybe not. The timing's gonna be tight. We'll kick on the tractor beam, we'll start to slow down, give ourselves a full forward defensive firepower as the plasma torpedoes are about to come online. All plasma is ready to rock and roll. He is equipped with fusion cannons, which could make this a little bit painful. Come on. There we go. That's all of them. And phasers? Do I have anything left? I guess not. We're just kind of out of weapons at the moment. So a little bit more. I want to be gone by the time he cycles back. Yeah, because of those. And you can get my aft firing weapons, because my aft firing weapons don't mix with my forward firing weapons. You don't have a shuttle bay, you don't have a tractor beam, so you're never actually going to be let go by this. How many Marines you got? I've got 40, you've got 6. I can transport over about 6 Marines at a time. So here's what I'm going to do. Because we've got to get out of here soon, you'll notice that this shield is being pretty heavily hit. Actually, just send in the Marines. 6 for 6. Darn it. I've got to beam over more. Oh, that was what I was afraid of. I didn't actually know how many tractor beams this ship has. He's getting awfully darn close. Let him go. Let him go. Okay, that worked. Duck! Underneath the cloak, because the fighters are on the way. Alright, did we get under fast enough? And really, does his tractor repulsor beams work while I'm in cloak? Because if they do, this is gonna hurt considerably. So we're just gonna have to wait and find out how bad it's gonna be. I'm really, really hoping he can't use them, but as far as I know, EC lances can't miss, so this could hurt. He fired his phasers. He's turning into me. That's not a safe position for us to be in. Okay, they hit anyway. We get some damage reduction, but it's not significant. Okay, drop a mine. See if that'll push him away. Oh, maybe actually the fighter will blow up on the mine. Okay, that did push him away, which is great, and we should be able to get out of range. Oh, next mine is not ready. Apparently I can't drop my even bigger mine. Okay, so we're going to take some time, get a little bit of distance. How are you doing? You're doing a speed of 22, which is actually slower than the speed I can maintain while operating at all charge weapons. We can go at a speed of 23. Okay, we're going to reinforce the aft 3 shields. I have a plan, but we need speed, distance, and sprinting. So as soon as the shield swaps for us, there we go. Gonna pick up the pace. Phasers are ready to go. Aztec plasma torpedo just about charged. One of our Fs is charged as well. A little bit more damage on that fighter. Not enough to kill him because our non-plasma armament is absolutely terrible. Like, at the end of the day, we don't hit people with non-plasma weapons. It just does not work. Come on, aft phasers get involved now that he's there. Please, you can kill him, right? Oh, this fighter is just incredibly tough. We need more speed, and we need a big ol' mine. Ooh, please don't set off while on top of me. Okay, good. Alright, so that's the big nuclear space mine. We didn't want that to explode on us. How much power do I currently have? About 3 points of power in each shield. And climbing to 4 points of power in each shield. Yeah, about 4 points of power in each shield. So light skirmishing fire we can handle. Holy god, you're fast. He's doing a speed of 31. If he hits me at any reasonable range, which I believe ESG range is 5, I can go look it up in the manual, but he's way too close for comfort. Okay, so he's been pushed away a little bit. I've got plasma torpedoes. I don't know if he has the ability to hard energy turn. Or not hard energy turn, but to drop a wild weasel. You can tell where my mind's thinking right now. Over the shoulder plasma. Oh, he cut through. Of course he cut through. I did, after all, expose a fairly significant weakness to him. How wide is this arc? The S is fairly large, actually. Gosh darn it. I gotta keep my distance from him. Okay, let's get ready. We're gonna swap this over. Because we're gonna go after him hard to his face. S, pop through. He didn't make it. Lovely. Phasers. That's dead. Plasma. Alright, let's see if he actually can crash stop. Oh, it's not looking good for him already. So we know that he is unable to avoid our plasma torpedoes should we drop them. So we're just going to keep the speed high and the maneuverability going. Swap back to F shields, please. I really shouldn't have dropped the F shield since the F shield is so gosh darn weak. We're going to build out a nice big distance on this one. We've torn a pretty big stripe into him, which is great, but we can't get cocky at this point. So we know that we can come back in and fire our weapons at him pretty heavily. How much power do I got? I need most of that. Sorry, but I've got to go fast. The speed must be maintained. Drop a mine. Oh, who thought the Andromedans were going to be working with the Hydrons on this one? That's more than a little concerning, actually. Alright, how are we charging? Are we not charging? It's just graphical glitch. And I can't really tell, but we'll find out shortly. It may not be charging. That's a problem. Because I really want that plasma torpedo with charging. We'll have to wait until we get the power bonuses back. Stop trying to get out to my side. And how much distance do we still have? I was not anticipating running into Andromedans as sort of the main threat here. That was not really in the plan. Okay, R-type plasma torpedo is starting to charge. He's a distance of 21 away from me. That's not good. You're too close. Go away. And you, stop that. Seriously, it's irritating. Turn around and fire plasma torpedoes into you. He can't react to plasma, so there is that working for us. Alright, S-type plasma torpedo is almost charging. F-type plasma torpedo is almost charged. The R is only about halfway done, so I need a little bit more time. And he's altering course very slightly, just to keep with me. He clearly wants me dead. We start to arc away. My only concern is this is going to force me to fix up 2 shields now. To keep from having my shields broken. Although, do I have any more power left? I've got 3 points of power, which I've got 1.5 points of power. That's how this conversion works. Every shield that you use splits the shield power evenly. I'm fairly positive that in Starfleet battles you get to select which shield gets how much amount of power. But honestly, at this point, we'd kind of need to even split them out anyway. Okay, R-type plasma torpedo is just about ready to go, so we can turn on in and go after him. We are going to have to fly through the Curious, this one here, but that shouldn't be too big of a problem. Alright, let's see if I can actually bring this tub around at a distance that we've working with here. Because it is quite heavy. Yeah, I don't want to be that close, so you know what? You should panic. And these fighters should go away. That's 3. That's good enough. Phaser's doing a good job hurting those. And there's 105 damage onto him. Phaser, anything? No, I got nothing. He's gotta be there. How much power do you got? You've lost a significant amount of power. That's lovely. Alright, so getting him off the fight was great. That helped us out quite a bit. And now this guy is... well, he's starting to pick up the pace again. That's not so good. Power? 4.3? Yeah, I'm not charging. Now I'm charging. I can only maintain a speed of about 23, I believe. And one of the reasons why I can go to 25 is because this plasma F-torpedo never actually got discharged. So he's doing 17.5. Interesting. Give me F shield only, because we have them on the back again, and we're flying away from the board edge, which gives us a little bit of time. So because we're playing Romulan, specifically one of their light dreadnoughts, We have to be much more cognizant of our positioning so that we can properly dance around them. So the thing with a lot of Romulan ships at this stage right now is we are packing a ton of plasma, but you'll notice not a lot of phasers. We've got less phasers than quite a few heavy cruisers right now, so we don't have a lot of heavy phaser punch, any anti-fighter capability, unless we want to sink entire plasma torpedoes into it. It makes systems or things just a little bit more precise in how you have to deal with them. You don't wade into battle, you skip into battle. So Federation ship would get in close, blast away with all those photon torpedoes, continue the DPS going with all them phasers and blasting away. Or Gorn ship could do this too, because the Gorns generally have a lot of phasers. There goes a nuclear spaceman. But a Romulan ship, because we've got so few phasers but so much plasma, we fire once every 3 turns. So our combat tempo is much slower. So everything has to be much more deliberate in how we engage with them. So these sort of hit and run techniques, this is actually a little bit more Klingon, although we're not doing nearly as much, doubling back on the enemy in order to be really Klingon in this maneuver. But we are very much dancing around the fight. We're keeping the range to where we can work most effectively. So we've been trying to keep outside of his ESG Lance range by just firing from beyond that range, which we have a couple of plasma torpedoes which are really good at doing that. And so we fire just outside of his lance range, we angle off, and we get the heck away from him. We don't need to actually engage him in any way, and you can just screw off. I don't want to deal with you right now. Wow, you're just not going to react to that? Because you are way closer than I want you to be. Yeah, okay, so we hit him a little bit. Yeah, so we want to stay outside the range of those lances. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something like that. And he has no way of actually counterattacking. Oh, we're going to get a heck of a lot closer than I wanted to. Yeah, so I'll curl in. Okay, good. So we've dealt with him. And it seems like you don't actually have any capability of fighting us anymore? Is that the case here? That seems a bit odd, but I'm not going to complain too much. But yeah, by staying at a range, just using speed and maneuverability, which a light dreadnought is really set up to do, we were able to just pick him apart without taking too much damage. We did take a couple of hits early on in the fight. There were 3-on-1 at that point, so I'm not super broken up about that. But let's see how fast I can actually. Yeah, I don't want to stunt my plasma charge because he's going at maximum speed. But he did not react to that last plasma barrage, so I'm going to take a gamble and say he doesn't have any more wild weasels. So we come back around, and we're doing just about the right speed on this. So we'll get ourselves up to full speed. Our forward shield is in fine enough condition. He's only got a hellbore. He'll weaken one of my shields, but I don't think he can actually break it. Alright, do you actually have a wild weasel? No. No, you didn't. So we have the cloak when needed. We also have speed when needed. We have maneuverability when needed. I really, really like Romulan light dreadnoughts. I think they're a fantastic blend of ship. They really operate more in a heavy cruiser range, but they've got more capability. Pardon me. If we wanted to, what we could have done is use our pseudo frigates, but I don't want to risk them until I've got a solid base of operations, like right there. Crap. No, not there. Right. Well, I'm locked into a planetary assault anyway. Shouldn't have come here. I should have gone to this territory over to the side because there was less likely a chance that I'd get locked into a battle. Worst comes to worst, we'll run, but... Alright, so we're being escorted today by the Insufferable, a CA Dreadnought, and the C5, the Dirk Slayer. So we're going off against a Regent-class Dreadnought. Could, of course, be more, but as long as we're operating in with the rest of the fleet, we can do quite a lot of interesting things. Mainly by sort of hanging out at range and letting the other Klingon vessels actually handle the close-in crunch work. So we're going to drift off over to the side, and we're going to slip in behind. Yeah, the Romulan Light Dreadnought line is a phenomenal class. You had a Paladin as well. Is a phenomenal line of ships because they can combine so many sort of strategic assets into one lovely package. It's a pseudo frigate tender. It's got a cloaking device. It has a very low power to movement ratio. It's got pretty much everything you could ever want out of a ship like this. And so we can really skirmish very well with opponents who are much more powerful than us. Alright, so here's my plan. Since I don't know how you're... I'm going to see if I can't force him to stop. If he's got missiles, if he can launch them... No, he doesn't. But if he had missiles, if he could have launched them at any time... Okay, that's going to be a crash stop. That's going to spoil the overrun. But Klingons? Oh, crap. Maybe that's not going to work out so great. Because those fighters are going to rip him apart. But spoiler the overrun, the Klingons have better rear-firing arcs, except for the Gatling phasers, so he's got a fairly significant amount of aft-facing firepower. But that may not have been the best thing to do. We're going to curl back on in. We'll get ready with our plasma torpedoes. That way we can hurt him quite considerably. Now we have a fairly wide arc on quite a few of our plasma torpedoes. It allows us to skirmish quite excellently. Of course, the starboard side plasma torpedo does not shoot to port all that great, but that's kind of to be expected. There we go. Gonna blast a little bit more on you. Your Gatling phasers were taken up trying to shoot down my plasma torpedoes. I'm going to pass on through using all of my weapons as I go by, except of course for the phaser 3s. Spoiled your shot, and now I'm charging while leaving at a fairly high speed. His fighters don't appear to be engaging me, although we did take a significant hellbore hit. I think they've recognized that I am a fairly dangerous threat to them. After all, the hatchet is now just in terrible condition. Looks like the Perseverance is starting to accelerate, but what direction he's going to go is not really clear. I'd like to break this Regent class Dreadnought before his fighters can do a whole heck of a lot more. He's managed to damage the Insufferable pretty considerably, but the Insufferable is still working out okay. I thought I saw like 12 fighters. Yeah, there's probably... Oh no, there's still like 12 fighters left. Jeez. So Insufferable is still rocking and rolling with a fairly significant combat group. As we just continue to avoid actually getting involved in the major battle, we might be able to come in and get something done with our phasers to overload the hatchet, but I don't really think there's much of a point to doing that. So maybe it would save some of our ships a little bit of pain, but I kind of think that by the time we actually get in, he's going to be dead to the D5. Because the D5 is... Or maybe this fighter pass. Alright, you. Time to mess with you. So, fire! I've only got 2 F-type plasma torpedoes, but maybe he'll react to that. So I did... Yes, he did. Okay, so that pulls him out of the fight for a little bit. That's lovely. And so just being able to abuse the AI a little bit, because he doesn't know what plasma torpedoes are real and which ones are fake. And honestly, even a human player might have a little bit of difficulty figuring out when our plasmas are up, because our plasmas are up now. We basically timed that shot to be right around shortly before, but not quite. So unless the human player would be really on the ball, they might miss that, unless, you know, they're using timers to keep track of everything, which, you know, is absolutely a possibility. All right, we'll start getting our plasma torpedoes away. We're going to hold one of our Fs, and this should just break down his shields. And he's been firing most of his weapons at us, so he really doesn't have anything to stop what's coming at him. And there goes all of his aft shields. So now he's incredibly vulnerable. And you can see just having a single light dreadnought supporting 2 Klingon heavy cruisers and dreadnoughts is just... Wait, no, the C5 is a... I was thinking the D5. So supporting 2 light Klingon dreadnoughts is just having a phenomenal effect, because we strip away the shields and now all their DPS weapons, because the Klingons use incredible numbers of rapid firing but not particularly high damage weapons. Well, you bring in one ship that can just hit like a battle axe and now suddenly everything breaks. It's great. Alright, so we've taken out the we have managed to take out the defenders at this point. We're going to swap our shields to the front and increase the speed of time. And we're going to bombard the planet into oblivion. So this is a PLPH. It actually is defended, but we should be able to help and knock it down a little bit. The 2 Klingon vessels, I don't actually think they have missiles. Oh, they do. They just didn't fire them in the battle. I knew the C8 didn't, but I didn't know if the C5 did. But yeah. 3 light dreadnoughts. Well, a carrier and 2 light dreadnoughts, but he had a carrier and a normal dreadnought. We're able to handle it without too much trouble at all. We should start slowing down, because those hellbores are actually going to be a significant problem. So everything is charged. We're going to drop down in speed and skulk on forward. Let him fire all he wants. If he can't hit me, then it doesn't really matter. So, and we will hopefully be able to rip open most of his shields so that the 2 light dreadnoughts can actually get in there and do a lot of work. I'd like to get within range in order to use my plasma F torpedoes as well, which is about a range of 10. Really, it's closer than that, because the F-type plasma torpedo does not actually fire out to a range of 10 fully effectively. Didn't you have more than that? We're gonna check it out. Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about. But we have managed to do our job. We've stripped open all of his shields. So now he's vulnerable. And what I'm going to do is I don't want to do this, but I kind of have to. I'm going to swap over to this port rear side so that when the hellbore next hits, it will not completely crush all of our shields. Still have 5 points of power on the forward shield, which should be sufficient to handle this little bit of siege work. No Hellbore coming our way. Not able to impact. The fighters not quite confident enough to get in super close in order to bombard the planet. It is a real shame that the fighters do not understand how to get in close to attack planets, because that would be so much additional firepower. Hydrants especially, it would make their siege work so much easier. Now, to be fair, the Hydrants actually siege quite well, but because of the Hellbores, they get to fire at targets that are not being reinforced. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas here. A nice big hit. Looks like most of his close in point defense is completely out of the picture, and that's just because we can't see everything. So I would fire a probe, but I'm in cloak. So, but he's lost his shuttle bay, he's lost his tractor beam, his electronic warfare systems are damaged. He's starting to lose major phaser 4 emplacements. Only taking a little bit of fire from that Hellbore, so the damage reduction plus our shield reinforcement should be keeping us quite safe as it is. Decloak. Fire another burst of plasma torpedoes. Oh, they were right on top of each other. Love it. So, how many Marines do you have left? That's the real question. He's got 11, so we should be done with this kind of soon. We're going to start to accelerate and get ourselves within range. You'll notice we've knocked out pretty much every single one of his actual weapons. The Hellbores are showing us all intact, but that's just because we're too far to get accurate readings on what's going on over here. So we'll find that out once we get even closer. And another couple of barrages with our plasma torpedoes ought to be sufficient to actually knock this planet down. Now, is this going to take this planet? No, but we really got to hope that when we maneuver over into the next tile that there is no actual base assault mission, because I really want to take that thing intact. We've spent a lot of blood and treasure to do it. Decloak. And more plasma. And I think you're handled. Yes, he's down to 2. Send in the Marines. Alright, let's go away then. So we send over groups of 6 Marines at a time, which is fairly significant. And they've already cleared out the enemy forces, and they've captured the planet in short order. So, 3 light dreadnoughts versus, well, a light carrier and 2 light dreadnoughts versus a carrier and a standard dreadnought and a planet, and we cracked all of them. So not bad. 495 prestige is a reward for a job well done, and the Empire defense is down to 25, but the Empire defense of this one is neutral, so we're going to get down here and steal it. But that's going to do it for today's episode. I've been Turek. If you like what you've been seeing, hit that like button and subscribe. If you want to see a notification every time I post one of these videos, press that little bell icon, leave a comment, maybe share the video, and I will see you all in the next episode.